need to plan to start my business. I got to sit there, map this whole thing out. I've got to have a plan. I got to sit down, do a market analysis. I got to do a 3 year to 5 year projection. No, you don't. No, you don't. A lot of times you get so caught up on thinking. Sometimes you need to do. That's a big thing over here because we get so caught up in all the preparation, all that. And it's a method of procrastination as we go out. No one ever got rewarded for something they were thinking about or something they wrote down in a little book as you go through. Every journey begins with a single step. Sometimes you sit down there and we're talking about the aspect of the mindset of an entrepreneur, but we think. And we really sit down and we have these concepts in our head and we want to push out a bit. We're afraid to do so. And frankly, you should be a little bit. The idea of reaching out to start a business, it should bring you great excitement and great terror all at the same time as you go through because it's something really scary as you go through. But that being said, as you go through, you have to sit down and stop planning and do something about it. The first thing you do is write it out, like using the opportunity canvas. The next thing you do is you tell people about it. You get input from them on your idea. That also helps you hold you accountable as you go through. Hey, I'm going to start a business. You're kidding me? You're going to start a business? Boy, I really think you'd be good at that. Tell me what you're going to do. You start something. And then what happens if you don't do it? You feel guilty because you told somebody you were going to do it. And they ask you, hey, how's your business going? I'm still planning on it. You've been planning on it for 2 years now. I'm going to get to it. No. Talking about it, telling people about it, writing it down, those are all the beginning for steps of action as you go through. Leave the fence and move. We get motivated and that we act. We think that all the time, but actually we act and then we get motivated as you go through. Move and then the rush comes to you. And that adrenaline will be enough to help remind you why it's important to just dive right in as you go through. Here's 6 points that I got from the Female Entrepreneur magazine as you go through, and I want to share them with you. Stay in tune with your why. Sometimes we don't know why we entered the business in the first place. I have to tell you, you start a business and 6 months in, you're thinking, oh my God, I can't believe I did this. You're looking for that magic moment. The magic moment comes when you sit down and your revenues equals your expenses. We call that the break-even point. You're sitting down there, you're over here, you're burning cash, and all of a sudden your expenses are over here, and then all of a sudden your revenue reaches it, and you're looking, oh, wow, this is really cool. And then you're 10% over. And then finally you're 20% over. And a light flashes inside your head and it says, you're going to actually make it. You can do this. It's a lot of work. Sometimes things come out of the clear blue sky. You had no idea they were coming. And you're thinking, oh, it's a crisis again as you go through. The business is like that. Life is like that as you go through. Really sit down and focus in on the aspect of taking action as you go through. Take back your power. You know what? There's an awful lot of talk about self-talk. But I have to tell you, sometimes the self-talk is bad as you go through. I'm not good enough. I can't do this. I wish there was an adult I could go around and talk to as you go through. But wait a minute, I'm the adult. Oh no, who do I talk to in the process? You have all these negative voices in your head. You need to sit down, pause, get rid of the negative voices. And yes, sit down, buy yourself some kind of a tape with a good, positive self-talk. I am good. I am taking action. You know, in my mind, it sounds kind of hokey, but the reality is I find that it works. It works on me. If it can work on me, and I'm kind of thick on some of this stuff, maybe it'll work even on you even better and faster as you go through. Get past the negative voices, sit down and acknowledge that, you know, it's not true. You do have the brains to do this. And by the way, you have the chutzpah to do it. You have the guts. You have the intestinal fortitude to sit down there and overcome the problems when they come in. Take the action, sit down there, and yes, you're going to have fear. When you have the success, you're going to have the joy on top of that as well. Have a plan you're willing to commit to and actually do it. Instead of talking about it, do something. It sounds simple, but a lot of times you create a plan and then you doubt about it at the whole time that you're trying to implement it as you go through, or you just kind of put it aside. So I don't think I want to do that. Just sometimes you need to do what we call suck it up and go out and do it as you go through. Create a plan that feels good to you in the process. It aligns with your goals, your target market, and why you are in the business as you go through. Have a plan you want to commit to and do it. commit to acting on it, create a plan and commit to it for 90 days. Sometimes you got to sit down there and just go through and implement, even though it may be shaky in the first 30 days or the first 45 days as you go through. Work through your barriers as you go through. One time, I'm on vacation at a huge world entertainment market and everything else, and I get a phone call from the landlord, and we have a problem. The sewer pipe is actually clogged in the building as you go through, and it's caused by the previous tenants with their 20 years of Italian food grease in the system. And by the way, your lease says we're going to bill you for it. I says, no, you're not going to do it. At 1 o'clock my time, 10 o'clock their time at night, at 1 o'clock in the morning for me, I'm arguing with the landlord saying, I'm not going to be paying this. Just in case you want to know, if you have a problem with your sewer because you didn't clean it, that's your problem. You should have done that before you signed that lease with me as you go through. This is your job. I'm not paying. And I just want to make it real clear what my position is. We worked it out and everything else. And I didn't pay as you go through, but it sure did sit down when you sit down there and you're trying to have fun at a world-class entertainment resort and your eyeballs are rolling in the background thinking, oh my God, I may end up a $10,000 to $12,000 bill to sit down and do some work that should have been done. Oh my gosh. So those things happen in this world as you go through. Work through your barriers as you go through the process. Find the system that works. You know, we're talking about the entrepreneurial mindset, and I'm sharing things that have worked for me. You're going to talk to other people in the class on the discussion book about what works for them. Sometimes their system or my system doesn't work. You have to talk to yourself in your own system. You have to sit down and create a list as you go through. Here's my system as you go through. Every week, typically on a Sunday morning, I sit down in the early hours and I make a list up for the next week as it comes through. I have a plan for Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday as you go through every single week. I date it, I update it, I look at the previous things that I missed, and I carry over the ones that I didn't finish as you go through. Sometimes I have to put deadlines on it because sometimes there's things I just don't want to do, but I have to do them as you go through. So you can do day by day. That's my method. You can print it out. You can put it on your phone. By the way, the phone doesn't work for me. I have to have the mental ritual going on my iPad as you go through and sit down and mark things done, 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 done. Oh my gosh, I missed that. Okay, move it to the next day as you go through. That's how I do it. Find the system that works for your mindset as you go through. Many people have an idea, a thought, a passing inspiration, and they fail to act on it. There's things that, there are those that think and those that do. Tell me, which are you? Action creates motivation. Work through your barriers. Find an organizational system that works for you. Have a plan you want to commit to and do it. Take back your power and stay in tune with your why. Action. Take care.